Have you ever wondered if just a few minutes each morning could truly change how you age? It's a simple question, yet one that most of us overlook until the signs become impossible to ignore. I used to wake up feeling stiff and tired, thinking it was just part of getting older, something I had to accept without question. Maybe you've felt the same way, struggling with morning aches or that foggy-headed feeling that seems to linger long after the sun rises. But what if I told you there's a gentle, easy way to start your day that doesn't involve complicated routines or expensive treatments? I'm talking about simple habits anyone can adopt, no matter your current fitness level or lifestyle. These aren't quick fixes, but small, powerful steps you can take that will support your body and mind each morning. What's truly surprising is how these few minutes can boost your energy, clear your mind, and even add years to your life. It's a kind of secret many don't know, yet it's backed by solid science and real stories from seniors who are thriving well into their 80s and beyond. So, what's the very first thing you do when you wake up? Take a moment to think about it, and know this. You deserve to live better, feel stronger, and enjoy every day with clarity and purpose. Let's explore these 5 morning habits together and discover how small changes can make a big difference. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. Now, let's begin. 1. Warm lemon water, 1 minute after waking. Most people don't give much thought to the first thing they do when they open their eyes. The world feels quiet, a little blurry, and your body is slow to catch up. For years, my mornings started with a sigh and the comforting gurgle of the coffee maker. It was almost automatic. Stumble to the kitchen, pour a cup, hope for a miracle. But truthfully, those first few sips rarely brought the burst of energy I craved. Instead, I'd spend half the morning fighting grogginess and a dull headache, convinced this was just what old age felt like. I remember reading once that the very first thing you put into your body sets the tone for your entire day, especially after 60. At first, I dismissed it as just another health tip lost in a sea of advice. But then my friend Edna, who's never been one to chase fads, told me she'd started drinking warm lemon water the moment she woke up. She swore by it. Her hands felt less stiff, her mind clearer, and even her doctor noticed her blood pressure readings had improved. Curiosity got the best of me. That night, I set a small glass by the sink and placed a lemon on the counter. The next morning, I squeezed a quarter of it into warm water, the steam curling up and carrying the scent of sunshine. I sat quietly, feeling a little foolish, and drank it down. It wasn't a grand moment. But by the 3rd or 4th morning, I noticed something. I didn't feel as parched or sluggish. My heart wasn't pounding quite so hard when I stood up. My joints, especially my stubborn knees, seemed to greet the day with less protest. Here's what I learned, and what many people never realize. As we sleep, our bodies work quietly, filtering out toxins, repairing tissues, and balancing our internal chemistry. But with every breath, and through our skin, we lose water. By the time the sun rises, we've already parted with nearly half a liter of precious fluid. For someone in their 20s, this isn't much of an issue. But after 65, our bodies become less efficient at holding on to what we need. That hidden dehydration does more than just make us thirsty. It thickens our blood, puts extra strain on the heart, and even slows our brains. Imagine your heart, beating steadily all night, suddenly forced to push thicker blood through narrower pipes. Your brain, which needs a steady flow of oxygen and nutrients, starts the day in a kind of desert, desperate for a drink. No wonder so many of us feel wobbly or light-headed first thing in the morning. And yet, most of us reach for coffee, which only dries us out more. Warm lemon water, it turns out, is like a gentle wake-up call for the entire system. The warmth itself soothes blood vessels, helping them relax and expand. For those of us managing high blood pressure or a history of heart disease, this is no small thing. It means the heart doesn't have to work quite so hard, and circulation improves just enough to shake off that early morning fog. The lemon isn't just for taste, either. That wedge brings a handful of powerful gifts: vitamin C, potassium, and natural electrolytes. Vitamin C supports your immune system, something we all care about more deeply with every passing year. Potassium helps regulate blood pressure. And those electrolytes, they're the tiny messengers that tell your cells it's time to wake up, move, and heal. But perhaps the most fascinating benefit comes from the lemon's effect on the liver. All night long, the liver has been your silent partner, filtering your blood and breaking down everything the body doesn't need. When you start your day with lemon water, you signal to your liver that it's time to flush out the old and prepare for the new. It's a simple act of self-care, but it reverberates through every system, making your digestion smoother, your skin brighter, and your joints less inflamed. There's real science behind this. Studies from the Cleveland Clinic and Harvard have shown that the risk of heart attack and stroke is highest in the first 2 hours after waking. Why? Because dehydration, constricted blood vessels, and sluggish circulation combine into what doctors call a perfect storm for seniors. Starting your day with warm lemon water breaks that pattern. It helps prevent the morning spike in blood pressure, gets oxygen flowing to your brain, and eases the work your heart has to do before breakfast. I wasn't the only one to notice these changes. My friend Harold, a retired mechanic with a history of high cholesterol, decided to try it after a mild stroke landed him in the hospital just before his 70th birthday. "I never believed in these small things," he told me, "but it turns out the small things make a big difference." He started with a glass of lemon water before his morning walk. Within weeks, he was sleeping better, his hands were steadier, and his doctor reduced one of his medications. "It's not a miracle," Harold likes to say, "but it's the best minute I spend all day." The beautiful thing about this habit is its simplicity. You don't need special tools or expensive supplements. All you need is a lemon, a kettle, and a willingness to pause for one small act of kindness to your body. There's no need to be perfect. Some mornings, I forget and have my water later, but I always notice the difference when I start the day right. A few tips I've learned along the way. First, always use warm, not boiling water. Hot water can destroy some of the vitamin C and can irritate your stomach. Just warm enough to feel soothing. Squeeze in about a quarter of a fresh lemon. More if you like the taste, less if you're sensitive. Drink it slowly, letting your body absorb the goodness, and take a moment to breathe and feel grateful for the day ahead. Second, don't rush to coffee immediately afterward. Give your body a chance to hydrate and your organs a moment to wake up. You'll find that your morning coffee, when you do have it, is more satisfying and doesn't leave you jittery or dry. Third, make it a ritual you look forward to, not just another task. Some mornings, I add a few fresh mint leaves, or even a thin slice of ginger for extra warmth. Sometimes, I sit by the window and watch the sunrise while I sip. That small act, giving myself a minute of peace, has become just as important as the water itself. And for those who worry about acidity, here's a reassuring fact. Though lemon tastes acidic, it has an alkalizing effect once metabolized. It supports digestive health, may help prevent kidney stones, and, according to some studies, can even help maintain healthier blood sugar levels. Over time, you may notice little changes adding up. Your skin might feel softer, and your energy more stable. The aches and pains that once greeted you each morning may slowly fade into the background. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find yourself smiling a bit more when you see that glass of warm lemon water waiting for you. There's a gentle dignity in taking care of yourself in this way. It's not about chasing youth or denying the years, but about honoring the life and the body you have, giving yourself the tools to thrive, one morning at a time. So tomorrow, before you do anything else, before you reach for your phone or call out to a loved one, walk quietly to the kitchen and pour yourself a small glass of warm water. Squeeze in a bit of lemon. Drink it with gratitude and know that, with this one simple act, you're sending a powerful message to your body. Today, I choose to live well. Today, I choose to support myself in every way I can. For those of us blessed with many years, it's often the quietest choices that bring the greatest rewards. Warm lemon water may seem like a small beginning, but it's a start, a fresh, hopeful first step toward a brighter, healthier day. And you deserve nothing less. 2. Circulation reset. 1-minute movement routine. There's something oddly vulnerable about those first few minutes after you open your eyes. Maybe it's the stillness of the house, the hush before the day's noise, or the way your body seems both familiar and foreign after hours of sleep. I used to believe, like most people, that waking up meant my body was automatically on. I'd toss aside the blanket, sit up, and swing my feet to the floor, sometimes a bit too quickly. More than once, I'd feel the room tilt, the floor wobble beneath my slippers, my heart giving a little thump of protest. I chalked it up to getting older. It's just age, I'd grumble, steadying myself against the dresser. Everyone gets a little dizzy in the morning. But one chilly March morning, I lost my balance and nearly fell. It was a harmless moment, no injury, just a bruised ego, but it rattled me. I realized how easily a simple misstep could lead to a broken bone or a long recovery. My daughter, ever practical, sent me an article that afternoon. The headline read, "Why Circulation Matters Most in the First 5 Minutes of Your Day, Especially After 60." I skimmed it, skeptical. But something about it stuck with me. The article explained that after 6 to 8 hours of lying still, our blood doesn't just spring back into action when we open our eyes. Circulation can be sluggish, especially in our legs and feet. For older adults, this drop in blood flow can lead to dizziness, morning fog, and even dangerous falls. The heart, which beats over 100,000 times a day, suddenly has to pump blood against gravity, sending it from your toes up to your brain. If your body isn't primed for this transition, things can go sideways, literally. I started asking around. My friend Bill, a retired teacher with a mischievous smile, confessed he never moved quickly in the morning. "You know, I just sit there a while and hope everything works before I stand up." He laughed, but I saw the caution in his eyes. He'd had a scare last year, stood up too fast, saw stars, and ended up clutching the armchair for dear life. His doctor called it orthostatic hypotension, but to Bill, it was just plain scary. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. So, I began searching for solutions. Something easy, something that didn't require gym memberships or special gadgets. That's when I discovered the 1-minute movement routine, or as some call it, the circulation reset. No fancy name, no big promises. Just 60 seconds of gentle, intentional movement designed to wake up your blood vessels and prepare your body for the day ahead. The routine is simple but brilliant in its design. Start by standing with your feet shoulder-width apart. Take a deep breath in through your nose, slowly raising your arms overhead as if greeting the morning sun. Hold for a moment, feeling your ribs expand, then exhale softly, lowering your arms with a breath. Next, roll your shoulders backward in a slow, circular motion, 5 times, nice and easy, then forward 5 times more. This movement, I learned, isn't just about limbering up. It stimulates the lymphatic system, your body's internal cleanup crew. Finally, lift your heels off the ground, holding for a second before gently lowering them. Do this 10 times, feeling your calf muscles activate and pushing blood upward. It sounds too simple, doesn't it? And yet, these movements are powerful signals. Doctors call it muscle pumping. When you contract the muscles in your calves and shoulders, you're nudging blood out of its overnight slumber and encouraging it to circulate. This gets oxygen moving to your brain, clears away the fog, and most importantly, significantly reduces your risk of that dangerous morning fall. I decided to give it a real try. No shortcuts, no rushing. The first morning, I felt a bit awkward. I worried the neighbors might see me through the window, arms stretched to the sky, rolling my shoulders like a slow-motion swimmer. But I closed my eyes, breathed in, and let the motions become a kind of morning dance. After a week, I was hooked. My head felt clearer. My legs, which once felt like lead weights, seemed lighter. The wobble was gone. Science backs up this old-fashioned wisdom. Researchers at Johns Hopkins found that older adults are most likely to experience falls or fainting spells in the first hour after waking. It's not just clumsiness or bad luck. It's physiology. When you go from lying down to standing, your blood pressure drops, sometimes dramatically. If your blood vessels and muscles aren't ready, your brain gets less oxygen for a few precious moments. That's when dizziness, weakness, or even blackouts can strike. But just 60 seconds of movement, gentle, mindful, and consistent, can cut your fall risk by over 40%. It's a difference you can feel, and sometimes it's the difference between another day of independence and a trip to the emergency room. My neighbor, Janet, who's lived on our block for over 40 years, swears by her version. She calls it her sunrise stretch. Every morning, she stands at her kitchen window, arms up, shoulders rolling, heels lifting. It's not about exercise, she told me one morning, as we watched the birds flit across her backyard. It's about saying hello to your body, making sure everything's working before you get on with your day. I love that idea, a gentle check-in with yourself, a kind of bodily roll call. Are my knees awake? Is my heart ready? Is my brain online? It's an act of kindness, not just to yourself, but to your loved ones. Every time you invest a minute in safety and stability, you're buying more days, more walks, more dinners, more laughter with those who matter most. And there's another secret. These movements don't just get the blood flowing, they wake up your mood, too. Physical therapists have long known that even gentle movement can trigger the release of endorphins, those natural chemicals that bring a sense of calm and happiness. Instead of starting the day with stress or worry, you're gifting yourself a wave of gentle energy and optimism. What I love most about the circulation reset is its accessibility. You don't need to be athletic. You don't need perfect balance or strong muscles. All you need is a minute and a willingness to care for yourself. If you're recovering from illness or struggle with mobility, you can do most of these moves seated, rolling your shoulders, lifting your heels, and breathing deeply. I've shared this habit with friends in my church group, at the senior center, and even with my grandchildren. It's become a small, shared ritual, sometimes silly, always joyful. We laugh at ourselves, but none of us miss the old way of stumbling through the morning, hoping for the best. So tomorrow, when you open your eyes, take a moment. Instead of reaching for the remote or rushing to make coffee, pause. Place your feet on the ground. Feel the floor beneath you. Take that deep breath, slow and full. Lift your arms, roll your shoulders, and rise onto your toes. Feel your heart answer with a gentle beat, your head clear, your legs ready to support you. Let this be your daily promise to yourself. I will start my day with intention, with care, with a small act of respect for this remarkable body that's carried me this far. It's never too late to adopt a new habit, and never too soon to start protecting your future. Because sometimes, the biggest changes begin with the smallest steps. 60 seconds. That's all it takes to give your body what it needs to stand tall, steady, and strong, ready for whatever joys the new day brings. And isn't that what we all hope for as we grow older? To wake up and know, deep down, that we're still in control, still moving forward, one gentle morning at a time. 3. Protein intake within 30 minutes. If you'd asked me 10 years ago what I thought about breakfast, I would have told you it was just another part of the morning routine, something to squeeze in between medications and reading the newspaper. Most days, I'd nibble on a piece of toast or maybe just sip a cup of coffee and call it good. Like many people my age, I didn't realize how much those early morning choices mattered. or that the first 30 minutes after waking are a crucial window for protecting my strength, my balance, and even my independence. But life has a way of teaching you the lessons you need, whether you ask for them or not. My wake-up call came in the form of a gentle ache in my thighs that wouldn't quite go away, a struggle to carry laundry up the stairs, and a day when I realized I couldn't lift my granddaughter without pausing to catch my breath. I chalked it up to just getting older, as if that was the whole story. It wasn't until my annual checkup, when my doctor looked me in the eye and said, "You're losing muscle mass, and that's putting you at risk for falls," that I finally started paying attention. He explained that after age 60, we lose muscle faster with each passing year, sometimes without even noticing until our energy slips away or our legs give out. He called it sarcopenia, but to me, it just felt like shrinking, like a slow, quiet surrender of the body I once took for granted. What surprised me, though, was his next piece of advice. The best way to fight muscle loss isn't fancy supplements or gym memberships, he said. It's protein, early and often, especially within the first 30 minutes of your day. At first, I thought he must be joking. I'd always thought protein was for bodybuilders or athletes, not for someone like me with a silver head and a gentle walk. But as he explained the science, it all started to make sense. During the night, our bodies are hard at work, not just resting but repairing, cleaning, and using up stored energy to keep our hearts beating and our brains dreaming. By morning, we're running on empty. If we don't break the fast with protein, our bodies will start breaking down our muscles for fuel, a process called catabolism. The more I learned, the more I saw the pattern in my own life. Mornings when I ate just toast or skipped breakfast altogether, I'd feel weak and tired by mid-morning. My hands would tremble as I reached for the phone, and my knees would wobble as I got up from my favorite chair. I blamed old age, but it was a kind of silent starvation, a lack of the building blocks my body needed to repair itself and stay strong. Determined to change, I began to experiment. The next morning, I scrambled 2 eggs, added a scoop of Greek yogurt with a sprinkle of walnuts, and made a point to eat it within half an hour of waking. It felt a little strange at first, like I was treating myself to a special breakfast on a random Tuesday, but by the end of the week, I noticed a difference. My hands were steadier. My energy lasted longer. Even my mood felt lighter, as if my body was thanking me for finally paying attention. I'm not the only one who's noticed these changes. My friend Carol, who's never been much for big breakfasts, started making a simple protein smoothie every morning. Just a scoop of protein powder, half a banana, a splash of milk, and a few ice cubes. She told me she started sleeping better and no longer felt the urge to nap by mid-morning. Her doctor even remarked that her blood sugar was more stable, a blessing for anyone keeping an eye on diabetes or prediabetes in later years. There's real science behind all of this. The National Institute on Aging recommends that seniors aim for at least 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein within the first 30 minutes after waking. This simple act can help preserve lean muscle, support bone strength, regulate blood sugar, and even sharpen focus for the day ahead. Think of it as a morning message to your body. We're building up, not breaking down. Today, we're choosing strength. You might wonder, as I once did, how to get enough protein in those first moments. The answer doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. Some mornings, I reach for cottage cheese with a handful of berries and almonds. On other days, it's a slice of turkey or chicken, a piece of whole grain toast with peanut butter, or a bowl of oatmeal stirred with protein powder. For those who prefer a plant-based start, soft tofu, lentils, or nut butter can all do the trick. It's not about perfection. There are days when I still just want a warm mug of tea and a quiet moment by the window. But I try to remind myself that this small effort, this act of self-care, isn't just for me. It's for the people who love me and want me around. It's for the walks I still want to take, the hugs I want to give, and the grandkids I want to lift and spin and laugh with. Every gram of protein is an investment in another day of independence, another season of vitality. One of the unexpected joys of this habit has been sharing it with others. When my neighbor George mentioned he'd been struggling with fatigue and weakness, I passed along the tip my doctor gave me. He started adding a hard-boiled egg and a scoop of yogurt to his mornings. Within a month, he reported not only feeling stronger but also noticing fewer lows in his blood sugar. His wife joked that she was going to have to keep up with him now. There's a lovely kind of solidarity in these shared routines, a recognition that growing older isn't about giving up, but about adjusting, learning, and adapting together. We talk about our favorite recipes, swap ideas for easy morning protein fixes, and sometimes laugh at ourselves for being so on trend with our Greek yogurt and protein shakes. But deep down, we know we're doing something important, something that makes all the difference. If you're new to this, or if the idea of a big breakfast feels daunting, start small. Maybe it's just 1 egg or half a cup of cottage cheese. Maybe it's adding a little nut butter to your toast or stirring protein powder into your morning oatmeal. The important thing is to make it a habit, a promise you keep to yourself, quietly, each morning. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. There are days, of course, when old habits sneak back in. A morning when the coffee calls louder than anything else, or when appetite is nowhere to be found. On those days, I remind myself that even a little protein is better than none. It's about consistency, not perfection. And as time goes on, your body will thank you in 100 small ways, with steadier steps, stronger muscles, and the sweet gift of independence that is so precious as we age. So tomorrow, as you wake up and greet the day, consider what message you want to send your body. Will you give it the building blocks it needs to carry you through the morning and beyond? Will you invest those first 30 minutes in your strength, your own resilience? It's never too late to begin. The kitchen is waiting, the eggs are in the fridge, and the promise of a stronger tomorrow is yours to claim. Let each morning be a new beginning, a chance to nourish not just your body but your hope, your energy, and your will to keep moving forward. You deserve it. All the vitality, all the days, all the moments that a well-nourished life can offer. And it starts quite simply with a little protein, a little intention, and a whole lot of love for yourself and for the life you still have to live. 4. 90-second joint mobility routine. If there's one complaint I've heard more than any other from friends my age, it's that our bodies seem to greet us each morning with a little more stiffness than the day before. I feel like the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz, my neighbor Ruth once joked as we met for our daily stroll. Just hand me an oil can before I get out of bed. I laughed, but deep down, I knew exactly what she meant. For so many of us, the first steps out of bed are tentative, a careful test to see if our knees, hips, and back are willing to cooperate. It's such a subtle thing, this morning stiffness. At first, you brush it off. Maybe you slept in the wrong position, maybe the mattress is too soft, maybe it's just part of aging. But over time, the stiffness lingers longer, becoming a quiet barrier between you and the life you want to live. Suddenly, tying your shoes or picking up a dropped pen feels like a small feat of engineering. The stairs look steeper, and simple movements require more planning. And let's be honest, none of us want to feel trapped in our bodies. I remember the morning it hit me. I had promised my granddaughter Lily that we'd bake muffins together before school. When I bent down to pull the muffin tin from the bottom cupboard, a sharp pain shot through my lower back. I froze, bracing myself against the counter, hoping the spasm would pass. That's when Lily looked at me with concern and asked, "Grandma, are you okay?" That look in her eyes, a mix of worry and love, was enough to convince me something had to change. At my next checkup, I confessed to my doctor about the growing stiffness. She nodded in understanding and told me about the importance of waking up your joints every morning. After a night of stillness, the fluid that cushions your joints gets thick and sluggish, she explained. If you move gently for just a minute or two, you can warm up that fluid, get your joints gliding smoothly, and even protect yourself from falls or injury. It wasn't about doing an intense workout or becoming more flexible than I'd ever been. It was about giving my body a gentle head start. She handed me a simple 90-second routine and encouraged me to make it part of my morning. "You'll be amazed at the difference," she said, and for once, I decided to listen. The first time I tried it, I sat at the edge of my bed, rotating my ankles in slow circles, 10 times in each direction. It felt strange at first, but something was soothing about the motion, almost like I was coaxing my feet to wake up. Next, I gently rotated each knee, feeling the subtle stretch in my calves and thighs. Standing up slowly, I held onto the dresser and leaned from side to side, then twisted my upper body just a little, letting my spine unwind from its long night's rest. Finally, I rolled my shoulders back, taking deep, slow breaths. 90 seconds. That's all it took. That first morning, I won't pretend it was miraculous. But I did notice that getting dressed was a bit easier and the stiffness in my lower back faded more quickly. What truly convinced me, though, was how good I felt after a week. My joints felt less creaky, my movements were smoother, and I was less anxious about that first step each morning. It was as if I had rediscovered a bit of the freedom I thought I'd lost to age. The science, I learned, is simple. Overnight, your joints produce a fluid called synovial fluid. It acts as a lubricant, protecting your bones from grinding together. But when you're still for hours, this fluid thickens. Gentle movement helps warm it up, making it thin and slippery so your joints can move freely. That's why the first few steps out of bed feel so awkward, and why a short mobility routine makes such a difference. More than just comfort, this habit is about prevention. According to the Mayo Clinic, gentle morning movement can reduce the risk of falls and long-term joint damage. Everyday stiffness, if ignored, is often a warning sign. It can lead to chronic pain, arthritis, or even the kind of accident that changes life overnight. When you invest a minute and a half each morning, you're not just making your day better. You're protecting your future self from struggles down the line. And the benefits don't stop with the body. Movement releases endorphins, those wonderful, feel-good chemicals. I noticed that my mood was lighter, my mind clearer, and I started to look forward to those quiet moments. Just me, the soft morning light, and the gentle movements that welcomed the day. I've since shared this habit with nearly everyone I know. My friend Harold, a widower who used to dread mornings, told me the 90-second routine gave him back his mornings. He'd do his ankle and knee circles while sitting at the edge of his bed, then stand to gently twist and sway. Soon, he found the courage to take a walk to the mailbox each morning, something he hadn't done in years. Even my neighbor Ruth, the one who joked about the Tin Man, started following along. She likes to play her favorite Sinatra song in the background and time her movements to the rhythm. We laugh together about our joint dances, but we both agree that these tiny efforts pay off in the freedom to live the lives we want. For anyone just beginning, the routine is easy. Here's what's worked for me and so many others. Sit at the edge of your bed. Slowly rotate each ankle in a circle 10 times. Then switch directions. Move up to your knees. With your feet flat on the floor, gently rotate each knee in a slow, circular motion. Stand up, holding on to something steady. Lean side to side a few times. Then slowly twist your upper body left and right, letting your spine move gently. Finish with your shoulders. Roll them backward as you inhale deeply, then forward as you exhale. Altogether, it takes about 90 seconds. Less time than it takes to brew a cup of coffee. Some mornings, I go a bit slower or add in a gentle neck stretch. On other days, I move right into my next activity, feeling lighter on my feet. And if you ever feel unsure or need extra support, you can do every part of this routine while sitting down. The goal isn't to push yourself, but to remind your joints that movement is a gift, a way to start each day with intention, care, and a bit of hope. What I wish I'd known sooner is that taking care of our joints isn't just about avoiding pain or stiffness. It's about keeping the doors open to all the small joys of daily life. The walks, the baking sessions, the games with grandchildren. When you give yourself 90 seconds each morning, you're saying, I'm still here, I'm still moving, and I'm still in charge of how I greet this new day. If you're reading this and thinking, it's too late for me, let me gently remind you, it's never too late. Our bodies are remarkably resilient, and even the smallest change can bring unexpected freedom. Tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone or start worrying about the day ahead, take just a minute and a half for your joints. Rotate, twist, breathe, and know that you're investing in many more mornings filled with strength, laughter, and the confidence to keep moving forward, one gentle step at a time. 5. Reverse memory recall. Mental exercise. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. There's a quiet fear many of us face as we grow older. The worry that our memories might start slipping away like sand through our fingers. I remember the first time I realized I was forgetting small things. Misplacing my keys, walking into a room and wondering why I was there, or struggling to remember the name of a familiar face. It was unsettling, a slow erosion of confidence that touched more than just my mind. It touched my very sense of self. Like many others, I tried to brush it off. It's normal with age, I told myself. Everyone forgets now and then. But deep down, I knew there was more to it than simple forgetfulness. I wanted to stay sharp, to keep my story straight, to remember birthdays and important details that made me feel connected to the world and the people I loved. That's when I discovered a simple but powerful morning habit called reverse memory recall. It's not a complicated puzzle or a fancy app. Just a quiet moment each day to gently exercise your brain in a way that scientists say can protect and even improve memory. Here's how it works. After waking up and completing your morning hydration and movement routines, sit comfortably in a quiet place. Close your eyes and take a few slow, deep breaths to center yourself. Then, begin to mentally walk backward through your previous day. Start with last night. What did you have for dinner? What were you wearing? Who did you talk to? Then rewind through your afternoon. What sounds did you hear? What emotions did you feel? Slowly, piece by piece, step back through your morning until you reach the moment you first opened your eyes. It's not about perfection or getting every detail exactly right. The point is to gently stimulate the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for storing and retrieving memories. This exercise encourages your brain to build new neural connections and release brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, a protein often called fertilizer for the brain, because it helps grow and strengthen neurons. When I first tried to reverse memory recall, I wasn't sure what to expect. It felt a little strange, like rewinding a movie you barely noticed playing. But after a few weeks, I noticed something remarkable. I was remembering more. Names came more easily, conversations felt clearer, and I didn't walk into rooms feeling lost as often. It was as if my mind had found a way to sharpen itself, to remind me that I was still learning, still adapting. My friend Eugene, who's in his early 70s, shared a similar experience. He'd been struggling with forgetfulness that scared him enough to avoid social gatherings. When he learned about reverse memory recall, he decided to give it a try. After 3 weeks of daily practice, Eugene said his confidence returned. I'm remembering birthdays again, keeping up with stories, and feeling like myself, he told me, smiling. It's like I've reclaimed a piece of my life. What makes this habit so special is how accessible it is. You don't need special equipment, a gym membership, or hours. You just need a quiet space, a willingness to slow down, and a commitment to yourself. It only takes a minute or two each morning, but its impact can last all day, and far beyond. This mental exercise is most effective when done after your body is fully awake, after you've had that warm lemon water and your gentle movement routine. That's when your brain is fresh, oxygenated, and ready to absorb the challenge. Think of it like warming up your muscles before a walk. Your brain needs that preparation, too. Reverse memory recall isn't just about memory. It's about reclaiming control over your mind and your day. Starting your morning with this practice sends a message to yourself: I am still learning. I am still here. I am capable. It's a reminder that aging doesn't mean fading away, but stepping into a wiser, more intentional version of yourself. Over time, this habit can also reduce stress and anxiety. Many seniors find that feeling mentally sharp helps them feel calmer and more in control. And there's emerging evidence that it may even lower inflammation in the body, linking mind and body in ways we're only beginning to understand. If you're worried about starting, remember there's no pressure to be perfect. Your mind will wander, details may be fuzzy, and that's okay. What matters is that you try and that you engage your brain with kindness and curiosity. Like any muscle, the brain grows stronger with gentle, consistent exercise. Imagine how it would feel to wake up each day knowing you have a tool to keep your mind clear, your memories alive, and your spirit confident. Imagine sharing stories without hesitation, recognizing faces without struggle, and feeling connected to the life you've lived and the life you still have ahead. This practice is more than an exercise. It's a gift you give yourself, a quiet act of love that honors your mind's journey. It's a way to stand firm against the fears that sometimes come with aging and to step into each day with clarity and purpose. So tomorrow morning, after your glass of warm lemon water and your gentle stretches, find a comfortable seat. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and begin to walk backward through your day. Notice what you see, hear, and feel. Don't rush. Take your time. And when you finish, open your eyes knowing you've nourished your brain, nurtured your memories, and set the tone for a sharper, brighter day. You deserve that. You deserve to live well, think clearly, and remember all the moments that make your life uniquely yours. And it all begins with one simple habit. 1 minute, 1 breath, 1 gentle rewind. As we come to the close of this journey through simple but powerful morning habits, I want you to take a moment and reflect on what you've just learned. These aren't complicated routines or quick fixes. They are gentle, meaningful steps that honor the incredible body and mind you've carried all these years. Each small habit, the warm lemon water, the circulation reset, the protein-packed breakfast, the joint mobility exercises, and the reverse memory recall, is a quiet act of kindness to yourself, a way to nurture your health and independence one morning at a time. Growing older doesn't mean losing control or fading away. It means embracing a new chapter, where every day offers a chance to live fully, to cherish the little victories, and to build resilience in body and spirit. You deserve to wake up feeling strong, clear-headed, and ready for whatever the day brings. And it's within your reach. Just 5 intentional minutes can shift your path to healthier, happier years. Remember, this journey is yours, and every step counts. Don't be discouraged by setbacks or days when it feels harder. Keep going. Keep caring for yourself with patience and love. Share your experiences with those around you, inspire others to join you, and know that by choosing these habits, you're choosing a life rich with possibility. Thank you for spending this time here today. If any part of this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What will you try first? What small change feels most hopeful? Leave a comment below and let's keep this conversation alive. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue supporting your journey to live well after 60. Because you are worth every moment of care you give yourself.